current government has laid emphasis on encouraging indigenous design and development in the defence industry. It is imperative that the industry takes advantage of the new focus by this government. In this session, we look forward to listening to government stakeholders, which include stakeholders, to help in clarifying how the system intends to ensure or attempt to take steps to ensure that indigenous industry is favoured. IP generation and ownership by Indian companies is encouraged. So that's going to be the focus of our next session.
I want to go through a chain of the cycle, who produces, who facilitates the procurement, and finally who uses. But I'll now go to the facilitation of procurement, which would be the categorization, which IDS does when the products come. Sir, I wanted to check, with this new Buy Indian IDDM that has come up, it's a huge responsibility on you. I mean, it wasn't like earlier, categorization was much easier. But now, how is you are gearing up to identify the products are that they are indigenous? How are you going to look at how the content has to be determined? I think RM was saying that's a big task. So, but I just, on more deep level, one thing I wanted to communicate was that when industry, there is a delay of 1 day for us. When we develop a product, we invest about 3 years of time, and we develop a product, we try to sell it to you. The armed forces like it, and we are ready to sell with the product, but still the process takes a couple of years, 2 years. And the cost involved in that is significant. So what happens is, number one, if it's a R&D company, I have to keep paying my scientist salaries. I have to keep servicing the debt I have incurred. I have to have various costs attached to it. For example, why would a scientist, if I have developed a cutting edge product, after 2 years also if I don't give him salary, I continue to give the same salary because I have not got orders, will he stay with me? So the scientific talent leaves me. And when a scientist leaves me or R&D engineer leaves me, lot of accumulated wisdom of the company goes with it. It is not that I can immediately get a replacement for it. So my ability to innovate further is so my industry's ability to innovate and create next generation of projects is decays and dies finally. So given the amount of cost that the nation has to pay for not buying a product immediately that an indigenous company develops. So what is the way out? I wanted to suggest, can we red tag the company that this is the indigenously developed product, please move it. If it stays on a table for 1 day, it is all right. After 1 week, your seat will become toxic. You will be in trouble. Today, there is no penalty attached to the person who delays. In one of the, not without giving names, in one of the cases where the trial was supposed to be ordered. When we approached the gentleman and said, when are you going to order the trial? His answer was, I have 28 weeks to order the trial. Why would I do it today? So given this situation, sir, how do we actually tag indigenous companies which have developed technology and move it faster? The only thing is the benefit is, of course, the company benefits. But country benefits enormously because this cultural R&D thing can really create a ripple effect and more products get indigenized. So having said this, this was my basic background, but given the importance of this category, so much importance of category, not only to the company but country at large, how do you suggest that, how will you identify these and how will you, what is the process by which they are rewarded fast and this virtuous cycle, which is now it's almost like a vicious cycle, but how do we reinforce the virtuous cycles?
Well, what you asked is a question of real concern, and one would not like to give any kind of rationale or reason for justifying the kind of an illustration that you just gave. So I don't want to be defensive on that account. And I want to share with you the importance that yes, we have to do it in time. And particularly so where it's a matter of somebody's intellect, somebody's design development that he's put before you, he's put at stake, and you very rightly covered that it's a tremendous amount of capital, tremendous amount of human capital that's at stake. So I agree with the assumption with which you started, and I start with a realization of the responsibility that lies on us. Since he's fielded the first question to me in the absence of Secretary DP having come here, otherwise perhaps he would have answered that question. Now, the issue is, as RM had covered in his initial session, that this design, development and manufacture has two components: design, development, manufacture and 40% indigenous content, or what he had mentioned, 60% indigenous content. Now, the second issue that we've been deliberating since morning is in the sphere of make, where the SMEs come in a very big way, and that was our concern. So what we've been talking since morning, and what your question also alludes to, is design, development, manufacture, and what about MSMEs and in make. So I'll try and answer it in this way, that firstly in make, it's been given very, very categorically that we are not going in considering the technologies that are yet to mature. Gentlemen, whenever we consider this, we've all realized, and it was again brought out in the opening session by the chair himself, that none of the make projects have progressed, none of them have succeeded. Because we started off where even sometimes the technology had not matured. So today when we are talking of taking a make project, we are talking of somewhere where the technology has already matured, and we are going to progress from thereafter, so that that grey zone to an extent is eliminated. Now coming back to IDDP, now the question is, yes, it is a challenge for the categorization committee when it comes that whether I should start my deliberations from this IDDP, which is the topmost priority. Do I have somebody worthwhile who's genuinely got design, development, manufacture, intellectual property in it, or I just have people in the buy category? Now that is an issue where it has been deliberated since morning that we have to rely on self-certification and severe penalties for wrong self-certification. While the methodologies and the mechanisms for checking it would be dealt with, but to expedite this, what we have to look at is, first, let's have somebody who are coming up, at least two, who are coming up to say, I can design, I can develop, I can manufacture, I have an IPR. And then we talk to those people. However, should there be an ambiguity, either from 40% he chooses that route of 60%, what we just spoke a little earlier, or we come down to that category of buy with 40% content. So these give you a little bit of flexibility, and as again was brought out earlier, that we have to believe on trust, we have to believe on certification, we have to work on cooperation, and we have these models through which, in the spirit of what we are doing, we'll try and expedite it the best.